What is up, all you beautiful people? It's I, AkemiTCG, back at the brand new deck profile. So I haven't touched Crusadia in forever, and I want to showcase to you guys my newest list of Crusadia. Hope you all enjoy. What is up, everyone? We are back here in the den, and I just wanted to give a little bit of my reasoning for what's been happening with Crusadia recently, and pretty much why I've dropped it initially before I literally picked it back up again today. So if you want to skip that, you can skip to the deck profile. It's going to be in the description down below. You can skip straight to the timestamp. If you don't want my explanation, you just want to be like, oh, I want to see what cards you're using. That's fun. That's super fun. So anyways, with last format, it was a very heavily combo based format where if you can't break the board, you kind of lose, and sometimes your opponent had the Union Carrier Buster Lock out and you couldn't do anything. And even if you draw Dark Ruler no more, if you're playing against Infernoble, you just had a really bad time. And the Gamma Seal whole entire combo shenanigans wasn't as viable because, again, Imprem got reprinted, and also simultaneously Forbidden Droplet is now a thing, and 3 Tactical Talents. So with all those factors in mind, it just didn't seem like a good deck to play at the time. But now that the format's a lot slower, I feel that Crusadia can truly shine, especially going second, because A, nobody's going to see it coming, and B, surprisingly, in control formats, this deck does dominate. It's really, really good, especially with Crusadia Power, which makes your Crusadia monster unaffected by literally everything, including Nibiru. So in any case, before I start this deck profile, I just want to give a shout out to Team COG. He's pretty much the reason why I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh in the first place, and he actually sent me this really neat mat. I actually haven't seen it yet, so this is my first time opening it. So I'm pretty stoked. Here it is. Oh shoot! Unfortunately, we're not using this Dark Magician Girl mat. We are using this beautiful. Ooh, gorgeous, gorgeous! Wow! Look at that shine! Look. Wow, that actually looks amazing. This is awesome. And on the other side, there's Gear Suit on it. This looks insane, guys. This looks insane. If you want to cop one of these for yourself, want to be a true supporter, click on the link down below and grab one for yourself, and use AkemiTCG 10 for 10% off. A whole 10% off your order. Look how crazy this looks. Wow. And this all cloth too. Yeah, we take those. We take those. Beautiful, beautiful mat. So anyways, let's get started with the deck. And now basically, if you're new to this kind of deck, or you're just new to Yu-Gi-Oh in general, that's completely fine. This is actually a really, really cheap budget deck, barring some of the cards I've been using, but I'll be talking about some replacements that you can use for your own leisure. But basically, if you don't know how this deck works, is you summon Crusadia Echo Max, and all it does is whatever monsters it points to, it gains that much attack. And then you have Maximus, which is another card, Crusadia card. You put it under the zone it points to, activates effect, make this card do double battle damage, and you just swing for game. Basically, this deck goes for game really, really fast, and especially in a control-oriented format where there's not so many crazy combos or crazy negates, this deck really, really shines, in my opinion. So, let's start. Onto the monsters. So, monsters we play, we do have to play hand traps this format just because it's just kind of hard to play in this format without hand traps. It's just honestly the truth. And the hand traps you're going to play are 3 Ash Blossoms. This is the one I'm playing. And pretty much Ash Blossom, in my opinion, next to Gamma, is one of the best hand traps in this format. If you want to see a hand trap tier list, it's on my previous video on my channel. This card is just good, right? You stop the Lulu, you stop the Rat Pier, you can stop some of the Dry Tone stuff, I believe. I haven't played against the deck yet, but I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure the deck searches in one way, shape, or form. So this is a good card to have in your main. And 2 Drone Lockbirds. I couldn't fit in the third one. I want to keep this deck at 40 because you're going blind second, and you want to have a consistent 6 cards in your hand that will choke out your opponent really fast. So Drone Lockbird stops pretty much almost all decks right now besides Zodiacs. That's about it for the hand trap. That's 5. All right, what else am I playing for monsters? Obviously, you're playing the Crusadia package 3 Arborea. This one protects your Crusadia monsters. You're playing 3 Draco. This one is the one that revives your old Crusadia cards. Remember, it doesn't just recycle Crusadia monsters, it also recycles Crusadia spells and traps from your graveyard to your hand. So if you already used the power, maybe the turn before, etc., you can use Draco to recur that card. So it's really, really good in that sense. 2 Crusadia Leonis. I feel like this card doesn't have enough application to play it at 3. It doesn't have a trigger effect when you summon it, so there's no really chain blocking. I didn't run Rhoda. You're gonna see reinforcement in the army. I feel like Arborea, this card, since it protects your Crusadia monsters, especially when it pairs well with the Reclusia, is a lot better and viable option than getting Leonis, because at least you can protect yourself from Ogre, and let's say even if they gamma you, your monsters don't die, so that's like a big plus. With the Reclusia is special summon it and then destroy 1 Crusadia card, or actually, yeah, 1 Crusadia card you control. I just had to read that real fast. And 1 card your opponent controls on trigger summon. So you can summon Magius, which is the link 1 that says that if your opponent special summons under it, you get the search. You special summon this under, and then you can activate the effect, chain link 2, chain link 1. So therefore this card cannot get ashed, or even Appaloosa, because those are 1 effects, or even Infinity too. So it's really good for chain blocking. 3 Crusadia Maximus, this is your game ender. You need to play 3 of those. Double battle damage is always good. 2 format skippers. This basically gets you in to, like, pretty much it's another Crusadia name. And also when it goes to the graveyard, you can get Parallel Exceed from your deck to your hand. This is the main extender you're going to use. Basically, if you link summon at any point, you can special summon this card to a zone that link monster points to. It also chain blocks, and also on summon, you can special summon another Parallel Exceed from your deck. So it's really good. You want to open, ideally you want to open 1 Crusadia, 1 Parallel Exceed, or if you open a format skipper, you just want to open skipper and another Crusadia, and you're good. You're very good. The Kaiju package, 1 Doggeran, 1 Thunder King, 1 Gamma Seal. Basically, I just chose these because they rarely can get super polyed, and Thunder King is the fat one, and I really like Thunder King a lot, so it's a good card. Good cards are good. And then for the expensive stuff, pretty much, I think this might be the most expensive thing in the main, is Alpha, the Master of Beasts. I know this card is going down. Why do I play Alpha? If you're going blind second, and let's say you're facing against True King of All Calamity, you can just special summon this. This is an inherent special summon, and then you just run it over. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I play this over Pankratops because it has a little bit more gas. If Pankratops obviously at 3000, then I'll play Pankratops over Alpha. But at the same time, you can use Alpha's effect, right? Let's say they have 2 monsters on the field, and you Alpha, you hit one of their monsters, as in like you use Alpha's effect to return both to the hand. You can re-special summon the Alpha, because the special summon is not once per turn. You can use each effect once per turn, but the special summon is not once per turn, which makes it really good. So that's why I like Alpha, and also it's just a big body. And also if you give them a Kaiju, Alpha is almost always live, especially Thunder King. Yeah, it's almost always live. It's really good. On to the spells. 1 reinforcement of the army for Arborea. This is basically another copy of Arborea. You can play Leonis instead, but I feel like Arborea just has more application. 1 Crusadia Revival. This is the OTK. 3 Crusadia Power. You kind of have to play this card at 3 right now, just because this deck loses to Nibiru very hard, and it kind of sucks. So you just got to deal with it. And Power's gonna get you there. Loses to Nibiru, Torrential, pretty much anything you can think of, you name it, this deck loses to it. This is how it is. And Crusadia Power makes that Crusadia monster unaffected by everything except for its own effects. So if you play Maximus and Equimax, you can use Maximus, activate on Equimax, and then use Power after. Equimax still does double battle damage because that Maximus effect becomes its own effect. It's really good. 2 Kaiju Slumbers. I know I'm playing 3 Kaijus. The chances of you drawing into multiple Kaijus in an opening hand of 6 is actually very slim. So that's why I just played the 2. And also don't forget, if it goes in the graveyard, you could banish it. Not on the same turn though. You can banish it to add a Kaiju from deck to your hand. A lot of people forget this, and it's really good. 1 Monster Reborn, just generic extender. It's just a good card. And last but not least, we're not playing any traps unfortunately, but we're playing 3 Pot of Desires. AkemiTCG, have you lost your mind? Why are you playing 3 Pot of Desires? Very simple. If you're going second with this deck, and which is exactly what you want to do, you want to maximize your chances of winning. And just drawing into extra cards maximizes your chances of winning. That's all. Simple as that. You do play a lot of 3-0s of everything. It's The only real card you should be worried about getting hit is, let's say like you draw into Slumber and then you hit like one of the kaijus. That wouldn't be good. But then again, you can change your kaiju ratios. If you don't have, or you don't want to spend for alpha, you can just play more different kaijus, so it's more live. Like literally, you can swap the 2 alphas for 2 of the kaijus, and that should be fine too. Because if you just play the 2 Slumber and then you play the 3 Desires, it just makes sense. But again, you're gonna be playing 5 kaijus, and it's really up to you if you want to dedicate your deck to that many kaijus. But besides that, Desires just usually get you enough extenders to end the game. This is how it is. Onto the extra deck. You're enjoying this video so far, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Alright, next. 2 Crusadia Magius. I would play a third one, but I simply just do not have a third one. This is the main combo. You special summon Magius with any Crusadia or format skipper after you use format skipper's effect, and then you just special summon a monster under it. You get the search with Magius, and then you just go off with your day. It's pretty good. 1 Lingeribo, just in case your format skipper for whatever reason gets impermed or veilered, you can just go into Lingeribo, and also it protects against traps too, and it gives you a column or like a spot in this corner right here, so it can come in handy. It just really depends on the situation. 1 Crusadia Regulex, this card is the main spell and trap searcher. 1 Crusadia Spada, this card changes the positions of monsters on the field around, so it's very, very useful. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, you do need generic spell or trap removal, and Nightmare Phoenix honestly just does the job. It's 2 monsters with different names, so even if they Nibiru you, you're not going to be in a bad spot. 1 IP Masquerena, pretty much if you go into Avermax, it's kind of free. It's just really, really good. Avermax cannot be targeted. If you summon Avermax, including IP, then it cannot be targeted and it cannot be destroyed. So it makes it an extremely, extremely strong card, and Avermax in itself is already a strong card, since if your opponent somehow sends it to the graveyard, then it gets to shuffle 1 back to the deck, non-targeting as well. So it's going to be one of your strongest monsters, and also it's affected by Crusadia Power, so you can use Power to protect it, etc. And it's just good. 1 Geonator Transverser. This is the substitute for Magius because I don't have another Magius. This can come in extremely clutch. If your opponent puts stuff in the wrong columns or the wrong rows, you can literally take advantage of that, because you can put it here or here, depending on the situation. And if your opponent obviously doesn't have that zone occupied, and you just swap them. It's a good card. It will come in handy at some point, but I do recommend playing a 3rd Magius. But if you like this card a lot, you can keep it in. It's really good. Just 2 effect monsters, that's all. 2 Crusadia Equimax. This is actually supposed to be a Link Spider, but I just didn't have one. Unfortunately, I just forgot about it. So it's actually supposed to be just 1 Equimax and 1 Link Spider. Completely up to you how you want to play that. And then for the Link 4s, I play 1 Avermax. Also, if you're wondering, Link Spider is just in case you get Nibiru, that's all. 1 Avermax. Card's good. I just talked about it before. 1 Axis Code Talker. This card will literally win you so many games. It's ridiculous. After you summon Equimax and they have like less than 5,300 life points and you can attack directly for game, you just go Axis Code Talker for game. That's it. You just banish the Equimax, game. 1 Boros Akemi. Why are you playing this card? This card's bad. So you play Desires, right? You Desires. This guy is inherently base. He's 5,000 attack. He's fat. And he also has a really cool secondary effect, and also it punishes your opponent for playing Desires or Extravagance too. So this is just it's like a testing card I'm using. Obviously you can play around with the ratios. You can play another Equimax over Axis Code if you don't have access to Axis Code, no pun intended. But Boros, I like this card. It's a very cool tech card in my opinion. And 1 Abyss Dweller for any deck that does everything in the graveyard, and 1 number 60 Dugaris for pretty much a combo enders or game enders that you want to end really, really early. Dugaris comes in handy. Obviously you can take out Dugaris if you don't feel comfortable playing him, but with Parallel Exceed it makes it really easy to summon him. Onto the sideboard. We have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, backward removal. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. 3 Chalice. This is pretty much for if you're going second, which obviously this deck is made to go second. And also, if you're going first, it has some application too, because it's kind of like an imperm, but slightly worse. If your opponent plays VFD or Zeus, which is probably the two most problematic cards, and also Arsenal Christio, that's problematic too. You can just chalice it, and then you're good to go. 2 torrential tribute. You're going first. You just set this, and you flip it at the right time. That's GG too. You just wait for them to summon VFD. Then that's it. 3-dimensional barrier, again for virtual world, and pretty much any deck that uses anything from the extra deck besides links. A lot less links are being used. That's why dimensional barrier is shifting in. If we get to the format where links are being used extensively again, then obviously you just play Phantasme over D barrier, because Phantasme is a better card. But right now D barrier is very, very good for this particular format. And last but not least, 3 Ice Dragon's Prison. I know this card is expensive, but this card gets rid of pretty much every problematic card or problematic deck in the format right now, and I think it's just way too good not to be playing. If there substitutes, I feel like there aren't. I really feel like there aren't any substitutes for Ice Dragon's Prison, because it is way too much in one card. It's a DD Crow. It interrupts any graveyard effects, and also you can go for game with this. You can just attack Ice Dragon's Prison during battle phase, and then attack with whatever monster, and you're gonna have game. That's just how it is. So in my opinion, I think it's a really good card. And also, you can Gamma Seal their monster, and if you already had Ice Dragon's Prison set, obviously, you can just revive that monster on your side of the field. So now, their monster becomes yours. So now I zoomed out the camera. We're gonna do 1 or 2 test hands before we end the video, just so you can just have a sense of how this deck kind of works. It's very, very simple. But if you're new, and you like what you saw, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So anyways, let's draw. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, you kind of don't want to see 2 format skippers, because it does happen. You're gonna Rhoda first. Hopefully it baits out an Ash. Wait, you're going second. My bad. So you're drawing them. All right, and usually for a lot of the main meta decks right now, that does end of the turn. So we're gonna draw. Nice. It's not bad. Rhoda. Play that Rhoda. Get that Crusadia or Borea. Very simple here. So now you're gonna summon format skipper. Use the effective format skipper. You can copy anything, any Crusadia monster but Magius, obviously. So let's say Spada, just for shizzles. Because you give them Spada, they have no idea if you're going for the OTK or not. It's just like a 50-50. And then format skipper will activate, and you get yourself the Parallax Seed. This is the cool part. So we have no Crusadia cards in the graveyard, so we don't want to summon Draco yet, its effect. But we're going to summon a Borea instead. Use its effect, Magius. We already have these 2, so kind of actually doesn't matter. If they have something problematic, you can get Reclusia. So let's say they do. These 2 off. Here we go. Regulex. On summon, Parallax Seed, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1, so you chain block that. And fingers crossed you have enough gas for game. And get Revival or Power, depending on how you're feeling. Then Chainlink. Did the Chainlinks backwards, guys. Don't crucify me for this. So here what we're going to do is, let's say like they have no monsters, right? So you have a lot of paths here. If they have monsters, obviously you can kill them right now. So the other path, let's say they have no monsters. You summon Dugaris here. And then you special summon the Draco. You can recur your Borea if you want, but you lose protection, and you already special summon a Borea this turn. So you can recur your Magius if you really, really want it back in your extra deck. So let's put the Magius back, it's fine. These 2 here, summon Equimax. Special summon Maximus. Use Revival. You kind of don't need to here, so it just really depends here. And you're going to use Maximus. Target that. Revival. Give that. So now it's 2641. And then 53 off of Dugaris. Detach 2. Make it 10,600. And you can smash for game. I'll do one more quick test hand. The last one I played it slow just for the newer players, but this one I'm going to play it a lot faster just to save time, just to show you guys what this deck's capable of. Let's see if we can get a hand with Desire so we can see kind of the application of the card. Nice. That was not scripted, by the way. Oh no, you don't want to see 2. So it's very, very unlikely you're going to hit the 3 Maximus, so we're gonna play Desires to see what happens. 1, 2. Wait, we're going second. I keep forgetting we're going second, guys. All right, Desires. It's probably gonna Ashes, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did we banish? What did we banish? Gameciel, Arborea. Okay, we banished 2 Kaiju, so we don't want to draw the Slumber, but we also banished both Slumbers, but we didn't banish both Maximuses, so it's pretty good. 2. Nice. All right, this is a lot better. We're playing Rhoda. Get ourselves that Arborea. I think we banished both Slumbers, so now it's like, yeah, you have no more bricks in your deck. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Normal summon Arborea. You want to usually get Arborea out first because you don't want your Magius to get Ogred. I know some people are still playing Ogre, so you have to be careful of that. I'll special summon that Reclusia, and then you can use Magius effects. Get that Draco. Actually, you get... No, you already have Draco. My bad, guys. That Maximus. Now here, you have some Regulex. Same thing. Do you have to summon Regulex here? Just thinking the options. I mean, you can summon Geonator too. Depends. It really depends. But always gauge the situation before you figure out what you want to do. So Draco here, get the Arborea back because you normal summoned it. And then use the effect of Regulex. Let's get another power just to be safe because that's the only thing I can grab. This is for next turn. So you can actually, what you can do is you can Spather here to move your opponent's monster if they're not in the right spot here. But you can also just go straight up into Echo Max if you have enough damage on board. Just really depends. I know I'm saying that a lot, but like it really actually depends. Do a special summon this here. Special summon this here. Revival here in the corner. So effect, get double battle damage. So now it has 36, and then 44, and then 49 double battle damage. That's usually enough, and if it's not enough, you have some pathways you can do here. So you do have lights in your graveyard, so you could go for access code with these two. If you just want to keep a negate on board, that's fine too. If not, you can go for literally IP here, and then you didn't summon this yet. IP here, and then Avermax. But you also have 10 in the graveyard too. Don't forget about that. I feel like I could have made 0 Boros. Actually, no, I can't. There's no way. There's no way, guys. There's no way. Because that wouldn't have been enough. If you can use both Desires in the same turn, that'd be really cool. But we do have the Avermax, and you have power for protection for next turn as well. So keep that in mind. And that is all I have for the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Feel free to adjust your comments down below. But I feel like a lot of people are just playing Nibiru now. And playing combo just hurts your deck more because, like, if your opponent just hits your LP, you're in a bad spot. And same thing with Droplet. Your opponent droplets your Gameciel, you're in a really bad spot too. So that's why it's just not nearly as good of a deck as it was about a year ago. Or even like 7 months ago before Rise of the Duelist. But I feel like because the format slowed down substantially, this deck is so much better this way. Guys, hope you all enjoyed. I am AkemiTCG. I'll see you guys the next time. Bye, guys.
The world ends now.